They ask you a question, have you ever voted before? No, but I'm going to vote for Obama. Normally that would disqualify you because it means that you're not going to vote. But in the expanded poll, they'll put you on there as a percentage point for Obama because they want to gin up a big...
Now, I understand the tricks with polls. I'm sure the listeners know about that as well. I mean, look, it's just horrible any way you cut it. And I mean, Palin is completely scary. It's just all, I don't know.
Well, wait, Palin, you don't really know who Palin is at all. They've surrounded her with a bunch of unemployed neocons who have been brainwashing her. I think she's probably better. She's a little bit like Wagner's music. She's better than it sounds. But the main thing to look at is structure. In other words, do you want a one-party regime, Obama, Pelosi, Reid? That is the Mussolini fascist corporate state. If you have divided government, say McCain...
Yeah, you'll have a dead duck with McCain, totally lame, and here we go back to the full audience.
Yeah.
The boys are thirsty in Atlanta, and there's beer in Texarkana.
I'm controlling myself. Instead of singing, I was lip-singing for PrisonPlanet.tv. Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking.
Are we gonna do
That's Aaron's favorite song. I'm trying to laugh and have fun. We have the banks completely raping us, setting up a world dictatorship of the banking elite. You get 95, 98, depending on the poll. 1,000-to-1 phone calls into Congress against the banker takeover bill. They still just do it. So the people are waking up, but the elite is just going ahead with it all. You got Colin Powell and Biden and all of them running around fear-mongering, saying get ready for massive events that will test us. It's Webster, Tarpley. Where do you see all this going, my friend?
Well, the main thing is to come out of this not having a one-party totalitarian state. In other words, the worst possible outcome is Obama, Pelosi, and Reid. That is the fascist corporate state. That will in particular trample on the First Amendment and free speech in a way that Bush and Cheney never dreamed of. And they will do this with the help of their myrmidons, right, this fanatical cult following, the Squadristi or Sturmabteilung or whatever you want to call it, that they have going both on the Internet and also in the streets and in the gutters. The minimum to come out of this with, I would say, is divided government. In other words, the president of one party and the Congress of another party, and let's have trench warfare between them. Let's have partisan gridlock. Let's have paralysis. Let's have the most extreme form of confrontation because the issues are huge. There is a depression now. We are descending into a new world economic and financial depression of tremendous severity. McCain has no answers. The Democratic side actually do have answers. Their answer is the fascist corporate state. We had this guy Kramer go on CNBC last Thursday saying that they want more bailouts, more trillions in effect for Wall Street and the derivatives. And Kramer even said, under questioning, he wants to loot the Social Security Trust Fund of $100 billion for starters to try to shore up toxic derivative paper. Now, this is impossible. It's a futile gesture because the derivatives are a quadrillion. 100 billion is gone in a matter of seconds. But this is what they would do. In order for them to do that in the full scope of what they have in mind, they've got to have the one-party state. They've got to have Pelosi.
I agree, but Webster,
veto-proof majority.
How obvious is it that Obama's bad when you have the big Republican frontman who shook the vial of anthrax and said they had nukes to the UN, and now he's the darling of the left, and he says Obama's good, and he said on Meet the Press it's going to be this transformative person of Obama. And he went on to say, because he knows what to do with the banker bailouts, and McCain didn't want to do it. So my goodness, we're getting an endorsement from the good old boy club right there. Important. Webster, continue. I hope you're right. It's disgusting and sick to say. I'm not even saying I'm voting for him, but there's so much election fraud.
Voting.
But
I mean, voting one miserable little vote.
I just can't bring myself for McCain.
You can move millions of votes, Alex, with your voice. Can move millions of votes, and I think there are three considerations. Stop Obama at all costs, punish those who supported the bailout, and come out of it with divided government.
No, I understand that, and I agree with you. It's just, I know Obama is vehemently, like no president ever, if he becomes an anti-gun. He says he's going to ban most guns. It's incredible. I mean, most rifles, .308, .223, everything. Anything that, quote, it could be used in the military. He is for total open borders. He is for corporate fascism, and he's got all these well-meaning idiots, just like all these well-meaning idiots supported George Bush over Bill Clinton, not knowing they're all puppets. But I agree. I mean, I've never seen such corporate support and the media spinning against everywhere but Fox, against John McCain. And then Fox is so cartoonish, no one takes it serious. And I mean, I agree that McCain will be absolutely a dead duck as president and won't be able to get anything done and will be hated, and then things will kind of just fall apart. Versus Obama, I mean, he really wants to be the world ruler, and he's got the backing to do it. So, but you really think that he can be beaten?
Absolutely he can, because I think all of these polls are fake. I don't see any groundswell for Obama. I see fear and loathing. The other thing is, let's go through who's fighting. Phil Berg is fighting with that lawsuit in Philadelphia. He just filed new court papers yesterday. These are now admissions, and it says to the Obama campaign, if you don't respond to these statements within 30 days, you have admitted to them, and out you go. Now, 30 days, unfortunately, is no longer enough, but that's another move by Berg, and that may get him onto one of these cable TV networks. Larry Sinclair is still fighting. He's still touring. We've got a group called the Real Democrats, who are organizing Democrats for McCain going into Pennsylvania and Virginia. You've got these wild cards, right? Sometime around now, there's this famous tape by Michelle Obama, who appears together with Madame Farrakhan and makes a racist tirade about a whole series of themes. This has now been expected. I mean, today was a day when some people thought it would come out. I would say it's more likely in about a week. I would say Tuesday, Wednesday of next week.
So it can have maximum effect.
Yeah, maximum effect, and you can't organize a counteroffensive against it because there's not enough time. There are various tapes. There's also this question of the African Press International interview with Michelle Obama, which is also a...
Hold on, we're going back to the full audience. Going back to the full audience. Here we go.
Not the kind of kiss and tell, but I've been seen with Farrah. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine. I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone fast with a girl named Bo.
What is that horrified look on your face out there, Paul? Oh, okay. Everything good?
I take my chances. I die for a living in the movies and TV.
Oh, I think the TV guys down here want you to boost the audio, John. Crank it up. Blow my eardrums out.
Ladies, kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee.
Hey. You know what we do here? The network puts it up on the satellite uplinks. They're in Minnesota. We're in Austin, Texas. Then we send out our own feeds here and PrisonPlanet.tv feeds. So it is quite a setup here. And I appreciate John Harmon up in Minnesota, Ted Anderson, the whole crew up there. And I appreciate Paul Hartman and everybody else that is down here in my office, Aaron Dykes, Rob Jacobson, Trey Kincaid, a.k.a. Eddie Bear, and his dog is known as Pickle Bear, the Chihuahua. And again, it's in times like these when things are so dark that I try to have a little bit of fun. But very thankful for all our AM and FM affiliates, Global Shortwave affiliates, satellite affiliates, the sponsors, the listeners, everybody, and my family, and the good Lord above. Okay, Webster, I'm going to try to just sit back for the rest of the broadcast and try to give you the floor. I've brought up a lot of points. Any way you slice it going into depression, any way you slice it, police state grid, you have the same elite that backs Obama, backs McCain. They're in power regardless with either one of these guys. I agree they get more traction with the front man, the new birdcage liner, who's more clean than, on the surface than the kind of half-used birdcage liner of McCain with his Bush association. But what I see is the disgusting corporate foundation left, the Noam Chomsky's, who sits there in his office with 1 million books behind him with that image of, the genius of Earth with this boiled down pap for children, saying basically vote for Obama, not because he's good, because he's better than McCain. And he's not stupid. He knows it means more warmongering, more control. And so just to see the foundation left, They are just such a nasty little crew of ne'er-do-wells. Can you comment on him and others and then get into whatever you like?
I think they were extremely important during the phase of the Democratic primaries. The left liberal foundation-funded gatekeeper or border guard left wing was used by Obama to overwhelm the Clinton machine and get the nomination. Now, since then, a lot of these people have actually become disillusioned with Obama because of his betrayals. I mean, take this FISA question, right? The wiretapping. Obama had pledged that he would filibuster any attempt to renew the FISA shenanigans of Bush and to give retroactive immunity to the telecom companies. And instead, Obama voted for it. He had said that he was against